Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm back again, here to do my NBA final preview of the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Miami Heat. This is going to be a very great series, in my opinion. Two similar style type teams. Um, they both like to get out in an open floor. They like to run. They like to play in transition. Very good, very defensive-minded teams at that as that as well. They have two guys who they have players who are absolutely superstars, probably the best number one and number two players in the league of LeBron James and Kevin Durant. You can write all the storybook lines you want about this, but I think this is going to be a very phenomenal series. I think this can go 6 or 7 games either way. I'll be shocked if it goes 5, if some team wins 4-1. But I think this is a 6 or 7 game series in my opinion. Um, Start off with a couple of keys. I'm gonna start off with the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're definitely their one key is going to be home court advantage. That's the best. That's the best crowd I believe when it comes to just loud noise wise. They bring a college atmosphere, which is kind of similar to what the state they are. This is the only professional sports team that they have in Oklahoma. Everything else is college related when it comes to football, or it comes to basketball, or even baseball. But it's a college town with a professional team in it, who have guys who really should be in college right at this moment if they went through the whole 4 years. But I think that's going to be a good key for them. The Russell Westbrook Kevin Durant dynamic again. More like Russell Westbrook. I always thought this was going to be a huge problem, but it looks like they're coexisting together. They're working out fine, and they haven't had any blow ups yet. Kevin Durant's been phenomenal in the clutch situation. So is Russell Westbrook. Westbrook has been phenomenal in a couple series. Struggled a little bit in the San Antonio series, but he made some tough shots at the end of those games to help his team win. That's going to be very key, because sometimes as you go into the heat of the game, no pun intended, as you saw in the San Antonio series last week, Kevin Durant would be hot and he'll hit about 4 buckets in a row, and then all of a sudden for about 2 or 3 times, Russell Westbrook wouldn't even attempt to move the ball or pass the ball to him. He would keep his head down and he'll just drive the lane and put one up one of those acrobatic shots or one of those off-balance shots. Most of the time they fall, but sometimes they don't, and he wants to get his as well. Sometimes he gets out of the flow of the game and tries to play one-on-one with himself, but that's going to be a key for them. That dynamic there, being able to synergize, being able to run offense through one another. When one's hot, give them the ball and work out that hash mark. And I think inside scoring is definitely going to be the final key for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think it was game 3 or it might have been game 3 when Ibaka and Kendrick Perkins had about 53 points combined between the two of them. Ibaka was about 10 for 11 from the free throw from the field. If that happens, Oklahoma City, if that happens throughout the stretch of this series where they play like that offensively, I think the Miami Heat have no shot whatsoever, because those two guys are really defensive minded guys. Those are guys who aren't there. Ibaka has a nice little mid-range jump shot where he can pop up into the 15-foot range and knock down that jump shot. But Kendrick Perkins is not known as an offensive player, and neither is Ibaka. So if they can get that going and get a little bit more inside scoring, because that's what I think hurt them. That's what I always thought hurt this team. They don't have inside scoring, and that's where Jeff Green had kind of helped them out. But as you can see, the Oklahoma City Thunder have gone this far without him. And with having Kendrick Perkins and not being able to have a real low post presence, so that's going to be, I think that's another key for them. Just finding a way to get those guys, even to Nick Collison, get them involved inside and get some inside scoring. A couple of keys for Miami Heat is going to be LeBron and D-Wade get to the free throw line. If they could dominate the free throw line and get to the free throw line like how LeBron James got to the free throw line 15 times against the Boston Celtics, and he's basically almost lived at the free throw line. If he can get there, him and D Wade, and knock those down, it's going to be very hard for Oklahoma City to contend in this series, because of the fact of when you got guys that, especially if Perkins and Ibaka foul out or get in foul trouble, you don't really have those guys that are their caliber. You have guys like Nick Collison, who gets a lot of charges, who's very crafty in his defensive efforts. But Ibaka and Perkins, if they get in foul trouble, it's gonna be a very, very tough series for them to win. So those two being able to get the ball and getting to the bucket and potentially get to the free throw line is going to be huge. I think that the outside scoring, the perimeter scoring, the three-point shot is going to be key for Miami as well. Mike Miller has really struggled in the Boston series. I think he'll come alive. I think you'll see a lot of more James Jones in this series. Shane Battier, he came alive in Game 7. If they can knock down Mario Chalmers, guys that can knock down that outside three shot, which will create space for LeBron James and Dwayne Wade to drive and create driving lanes for them, be able to penetrate with the space they have on the floor. So those guys being able to knock down those three-point shots and go into a small lineup where you have LeBron at the 4 and Chris Bosh at the 5, and then you have about two shooters around them, or Dwayne Wade at a time, and just being able to spread out and bringing out Ibaka from being in that paint and bringing him on to play in the perimeter where he's not a very good perimeter defender. That's gonna be a huge thing if Miami can knock down those outside jump shots, those threes, and keep spacing on the floor is gonna be huge. And I think Chris Bosh is definitely gonna be the main reason. I've always said it when he got there. I said it this year. I said the Miami Heat can lose Dwayne Wade. They can't lose LeBron, and they cannot lose Chris Bosh, because Chris Bosh is the main reason for it. He's the guy that gives what Oklahoma City doesn't have, and that's inside scoring. He's not the biggest post guy. He's not a guy who can get in the post, but he's a guy that has that presence down low where he can knock down that shot. And Ibaka, to me, is really not the best one-on-one defender. He's an amazing weak side helper defender and shot blocker. But I saw a couple of games in that Spurs where I seen Boris Diaw and Tim Duncan just school Ibaka in the post area. So that's going to be huge for Miami, is getting Chris Bosh rolling. Like how even if he gets 19 and 9 a night, if he can average that, or 18 and 8, that's a job well done. That's being great. And now you're hoping that a couple of 3 shots fall and LeBron stays LeBron, the best player in the world, and Dwayne Wade closes it out at the end. That's a formula for success all the time, and playing the defense that they play. So those are the 3 keys for both teams. I'm gonna give you a couple of players to watch, and I'm not gonna give you the household names that everybody knows, but 2 players from each team. The 2 players from Miami I'll give you is gonna be Mario Chalmers, and it's going to be Shane Battier. Mario Chalmers is going to be key for his on-ball defense and being able to knock down that three-point shot, and probably trying to stay in front of Russell Westbrook or James Harden. And I say Shane Battier has to be the bigger unsung hero, the player to watch, because it's going to get to a point if Russell Westbrook is having his way and getting into the paint, LeBron James, like how he had to do in Cleveland, or he had to do last year against Boston, where LeBron James had to go cover a guy like Rondo, cover a guy like Derrick Rose. That's going to leave somebody as that. Now Shane Battier is going to have to cover Kevin Durant, because you're not going to put Dwayne Wade on Durant. You're going to have to put Shane Battier, and Shane Battier is going to have to be that lockdown defender and be that great perimeter defender that you brought him in to be, and a guy that can knock down those shots. So he is going to be really keen, along with Mario Chalmers. Because Mario Chalmers is definitely going to have to have his A game when it comes to defensive wise against Russell Westbrook, one of the best athletes that we have. A guy who's he has an elite athleticism, which that kind of helps. That struggles with that Mario Chalmers tends to struggle with. So those are the 2 guys there. And the 2 guys for Oklahoma City is going to be Derek Fisher, the guy who's been there before, the guy who's made big shots, the guy who has 5 rings, and Thabo Sefolosha, a guy who's just in the mold of Shane Battier, but Thabo Sefolosha, to me, I think is a better perimeter defender, and Thabo Sefolosha is a guy who likes to set his feet and knock down that open jump shot and that open 3. or that corner three or something that helps. So Thefalos's defense, I think, on Dwayne Wade is going to be a key in this game. With all that being said and done, I got the Miami Heat in 7. I think that their talent just weighs out. I think that the experience that they have from last year's championship, I think they have no pressure. Like the pressure's not as much as it was last year because this is their second time around in the finals, and I'm picking Miami in 7. So I got Miami in 7. Let me know what you guys think. Who you think is going to win the series? How many games? Who are key players in this series? And I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.